A general election has always been a fraught process in Papua New Guinea. It involves weeks of polling across jungle, mountains and islands as an under-resourced electoral commission sets up booths in many remote communities. The campaign period is a festive season. It's the only time in the election cycle that many citizens get to see their political leaders, who come bearing gifts, lamb flaps and Coca-Cola. Candidates promise infrastructure and development. In 2017, more than 3,300 candidates vied for the 111 parliament seats. In the parliament term just concluded, only 3 MPs were female.
I think there should be gender equality in that, with more women in parliament, because from this experience that last 2 or 3 years when these 2 women who were in parliament, they made things move for their provinces. And I think that if we also have a female in central, I know that there will be some improvement coming up with this female, because most female are not comfortable going up to see their own parliament leaders in their own.
This year, a record 5% of the election's candidates were women. Social mores, where male is traditionally dominant, have long been an obstacle to female representation.
I think culturally we are a highly patriarchal society where the big man mentality is still there. We have chiefs which are men. But in so many of our communities today, that mentality is beginning to fade.
Across the country, there is a very strong sense that women should be given an opportunity, but it's the dynamics of each location.
Adding to the disadvantage for women is the long-running practice of voter bribery, born of PNG's problem of systemic corruption.
The entire system of government is riddled with corruption. We have systematic and endemic corruption from the Prime Minister's office right down to the ministers, to the heads of departments, state CEOs of state-owned enterprise. Everybody's engaged in corruption.
But PNG elections are a time of great hope. Occurring only every 5 years, voter turnout is high. In rural parts, voters often walked many hours through bush to get to a polling booth, which made it all the more disappointing in this election when many voters arrived at the polling booth to find their names were not on the electoral roll. The Electoral Commission has struggled to get adequate funding from the government, but insisted it had prepared well for this election. Yet irregularities quickly mounted.
It's very clear that some candidates or political parties are engaging and investing in illegal activities. The only way they will win or have a chance to win or influence the outcome of the election is to engage in those illegal activities, sadly. But it's something that should be condemned.
Pressure on the Electoral Commissioner intensified when electoral officers were found with large wads of cash and pre-marked ballot papers.
Police also told me there were some ballot papers used because I think in one station they started polling, that those ballot papers have been confiscated. And with the police, what we'll do is we'll go through them, we'll audit them, and if polling is going to be on Friday, we will release, we'll discard those ballot papers and issue new ballot papers.
Complaints about the fairness of the 2017 election were prolific. The 10th Parliament began amid many delays to results, double declarations of winning MPs, and even attempts to kidnap newly elected members. And the same ruling party was returned to power. In the end, no women were elected.
Man is the head of the family, and we understand that, and culturally we accept that as well as women. But I think men are beginning to see that women have a place in society, and they also have a place in leadership roles as well.
International election observers noted significant flaws in the electoral process and the widespread complaints about names missing from the common roll, but seemed to put it down to the normal challenges of a PNG election.
This is a very complex country with people speaking a great many languages, with immense geographical difficulties, but time and again the people of Papua New Guinea have displayed an enthusiasm and a thirst for democratic elections, and the government has time and again delivered on that.
Violence over election-related disputes and rivalries is still playing out in the highlands. It's part of a cycle that Papua New Guineans have become accustomed to. Elections come and go in PNG, bringing chaos and disappointment. Yet life goes on, and somehow hopes for improvement in PNG's governance also survive.